So, had a bit of an error with the last stream. Things were going a little bit sideways. And I had started the process of putting this together. And it went well, but I kept getting all these weird alerts popping up and it was making my screen freeze. So I decided, okay, let's get another one in just to be safe. I had been thinking about this for a while. I'm gonna do another knife sheath, but I'm gonna go with the roses because I haven't done a project with roses in a while. So move this here out in front. Hopefully this stays. And actually, I won't need this here underneath it. All right, so I think I'm good to go. Just gonna go ahead and just start now. Hopefully I won't need to put my big dome in front of the camera for anything. Let me look at my reference here. Okay. That was unintended. I should have started off with a much smaller cut. Not that crazy long one. All right, felt a little bit loose. Had to make sure it wasn't wiggling there. So for anyone who is somewhat new to tooling, especially if you're tooling with blades like this one is steel, not ceramic. You're going to have to ensure that the cuts are easier. You shouldn't be dragging so much. This one is dragging, and I left my strop, so give me about 20 seconds. Doug, stay. I'm very upset with myself. I seem to have geographically mislocated my strop. Unless I put it underneath something. Of course I did. And that's what I get. This is one of the reasons why I switched to ceramic. The ceramic blades just hold an edge a little bit better, at least for the swivel knives. Which one is this? It's the flat one. All right, so like I was saying, for these here, it should be relatively easy to draw through. Hold on, want to get some residual dust off of there. So if you feel like you have to do anything more than just light pressure to pull the blade through, you got to stop and strop it. And always remember, rotate the piece, not yourself. When you're coming up towards a solid line, don't cut through to where that line is, because then you'll have little divots or cuts right there. Just come to where the line starts and then cut from the back in there. The same thing here. This piece here, like this line here, I stopped it there. So I'm just gonna start from higher up. And this is a little weird because the thing that the camera's mounted on is right in front of my eye line. And then gonna bring it through to connect the lines there. This is really, really weird with this thing in front of my eye, but the only other option was to replace the whole rig setup with the one I have overhead, and that is slow going. Yep, gonna have to strop it again. Maybe even recase it. I don't want to do that, but I think that's the other option. All right, give me about Yes, my dog hates me. Although we did finally go to the park earlier today. All right, haven't missed any of the chats. And while that is drying a bit, that was terrible. really wish there was a way that I could keep the white balance steady instead of it constantly adjusting. So let me see if there's something I can do in the settings. No, not retouch. Well, I just saved a highlight for no reason. Whoa. Okay. Nope, nothing I can do, so it's gonna just keep shifting. Sorry about that, y'all. Yep, here and there. Should have done a bit better. Did those connect? Yes, they did. How did it connect? Straight down. All right. Light pressure, light pressure. There we go. I don't think I'm going to do the whole tooling. That would be a bit tedious for most people and terrible for the rig that I have set up. So we're just going to do the swivel knifing. Normally I wouldn't be doing any tooling near where there's going to be stitches, but I think with it being so big, or with it going to be such a size, a couple of stitch lines isn't going to be that big of a deal. I'm looking forward to seeing how these leaves and stems turn out. Truth be told, I love tooling roses. It's one of the ways you can tell that you're getting better is if your floral stuff turns out well. There's just so many swoops and swirls and turns and whatnot that if you do the florals well, then your tooling in general will turn out well. So, and I love roses. They're one of the many flowers that have just so many different types of turns in them. So large curves, tight turns, stems, if you have them getting done in. There's a lot going on with roses, so one of my favorite things to tool. It's getting a little tough. All right. Oh man, started that a little too high. I'm gonna have to make it work. I think the rose body is done. Now it's just all the stuff to the side. I'm halfway tempted to add thorns. These parts there I'm not looking forward to, but needs must, so got stalled on the back end there. There we go. Whoa, almost lifted that up. I'm going to be very upset to have to sew through all of this later, but it was an artistic choice and I knew what I was doing when I did it, so. What's on the back end of this one? That, okay. The back part of this leaf here. There we go. Got that. And what is this that I'm looking at here? Okay. All right. So that's it for the swivel knifing. I'm gonna commence with the tooling after I cut this off, because the way that this camera here is set up, there's no way I can tool without having the camera fall off. But yep, this is gonna be the next one. I'm gonna get in the channels here for this stock. But then after that, I'm gonna commence to make sure I didn't miss any cuts, and then start the beveling and the oval shaping. And we'll see how it turns out. I think I'm gonna end up with the acrylic paint as opposed to the dye, and we'll get this thing popping. All right, that's all I got for now. I'm Jay Renard, and I'm out. Peace.